Glorious day to you, my friends. Sohotora ni sahana ekitatihe. Welcome to day number 20 of Flow Home, this first light oasis wellspring, harmonizing hOMe everywhere. Where for 27 days we are chanting hOMe and meditating and seeing what wisdom hOMe can share with us about our true authentic self, about what to do today, about whatever we need. And we're doing it subtly. We're not really setting a goal. But maybe you can set your intention. Write down on a piece of paper, text message, email. Set your intention for today's flow home. Today's graduation day. Day 20. Day 20 in the tarot is judgment. Well, we're also going to incorporate in card 21, the world. Also, before chanting, we're going to talk about the mala of joy, cycle of life, death, and rebirth, samsara, the bhava chakra, and what we've learned so far through our journey through the underworld, the afterlife. '20 is the resurrection. Your resurrection, your rebirth is one way to think of it. On day 10, we went to, let's go over the mala of joy and the chakras. In the mala of joy, we break up the 108 seeds or beads of a mala into 9 groups of 12. And each of the 9 groups represents one of the chakras in our Merkaba, our light body. And starting down in the soul star, the earth star chakra, Vasundhara, our roots into this planet, into this reality, this 3D reality, our roots into life. It sits at the bottom of our auric field, like our electromagnetic sphere around our body. And just like the magnetic sphere of planet Earth, there's an opening at the bottom and an opening at the top. And this Vasundhara, this Earth Star chakra, is like the opening at the bottom, where all of the energy flows out. It flows out the positive pole of the battery, you and me, and it flows on the outside of the torus field, and it flows in the top of the energetic field. That's Vyapini, the soul star chakra, above the crown. And then it flows down, and then around, out and around, and down. Now, above Vasundhara is Muladhara, the root chakra. Our stability, our foundation. How we connect into Mother Earth through our root system. And then above that, we have Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra. Svadhisthana means where the self is established. It's our water chakra. It's our emotions. It's our pleasure. And then next up is Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, our fire chakra, our willpower, our joy, our intention. And then next up we have the heart chakra, Anahata, love, air, our true mind, our heart mind. It's also the home of our Brahma Vihara, our abode of God, this Brahma, this creator inside each and every one of us, made of loving kindness, compassion, joy, and harmony. Outside of our beingness, our existence in this matrix, those are the four aspects of who we really are. And then next up we have the throat chakra, Vishuddha, or Vishuddhi, the purest. Oh, Anahata means unstruck. Manipura means the jeweled city. And Muladhara means the root. Mula, root. Vishuddha, the purest, deals with truth, speech. And next up we have the third eye chakra. The proper way in Sanskrit is Agnya. My people call it Anya. It can also be called Agya. Our insight, our intuition, our true vision. This is where we create our duality, where we create contrast. And then next up is Sahasrara, the crown chakra, our throne room, our lotus of awareness. Sahasrara, the 1,000 petals. They call it the 1,000 petal or the infinite petal lotus. But each of the petals are awareness unfolding as you become, as we live in this Bhava chakra, the cycle of life, or samsara, the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And then next up on top is Vyapini. So the divine energy comes down through Vyapini, comes into Sahasrara, then into. So we're just dwelling in our throne room, being the righteous ruler of our reality, dwelling in our lotus of awareness. And then we decide to experience more and send the energy down to Anya to create this duality, to create the interpretation and the meaning, the filter of how we view and experience this thing called life. And then that energy moves down through, the interpretation of that energy moves down through Vishuddha. The name of Vishuddha, the purest, implies that we can see the truth in this duality through this chakra. But we speak our truth based on this. We think our truth based on our intuition, based on our third eye. This is in the normal human cycle of life and samsara, which is why Buddhists and Tibetan Buddhists call this the cycle of suffering. because we keep feeding the ignorance of our viewpoint of this reality. So then through the throat chakra, we feed all that into our heart, which clouds our heart vision and our heart mind and our heart sight. And when we experience loss, that contrasting flow vortex gets to experience grief as well as love, clouding the heart mind. And then all of that gets sent down into Manipura. And somewhere in there, we need to find intention with all this muddy water. And we need to find our joy and purpose and direction. And then when we act not from alignment, we hurt our own feelings and we start thinking that we are bad. Manipura. And then all of that energy gets sent down into Svadhisthana, where the self is established, and it clouds our sight of who we really are, clouds our emotions, and we start reacting because some of these emotions are intense. And we start reacting to instead of being, which causes more emotional distress and dis-ease. And then on top of that, we send all that muddy water down the creek into Muladhara, into our root system, into our foundation of life. And then we send that out. This cycle of muddy waters. And every time we experience this contrast, and we have these blockers, these kleshas, we place these imprints in our chakras, and like a beaver who's creating a dam, we stop the flow of this energy. And so the muddy water never gets to clear, which is why we're exploring upwards, exploring the mind of our Kundalini. As we extend upwards, we start in our root, but we are starting in Vasundhara, in the heart of Gaia, through this judgment card and the world card. Judgment is the rebirth, and the world card is us diving back in to experience more life. So back up on day 7, we were in Sahasrara. We were the chariot. We're the righteous ruler of our reality. We are creating everything. And then we decided to experience more. So with the hermit, with the strength to experience more, to go beyond this samsara, to bring life beyond what it has been before. We took the strength, 8, to go within, 9, with our own light, 9. To explore outside of who we think we are, the Wheel of Fortune, 10. And we stayed up there This is all in our lotus of awareness. The apini is simply a gateway while we rest in our true nature, while we explore this thing called consciousness, this thing called life. And then 11, judgment. We start judging ourselves, and other people are judging us on our choices, on the contrast that we have created, on the imprints that we have created for ourselves. So we decide to ponder. The hangman, 12. And then we choose death, 13. We choose to go to the shadow side, to the underworld of why we do what we do, why we live the way we live, what is beyond this thing that I think is life. The best news ever, day 14. Archangel Gabriel greets us in the afterlife. Tries to show us the true meaning of the afterlife, this peace, this temperance. Maybe let's not call it the afterlife. Let's call it this higher life, this temperate life. And Gabriel shows us how to balance emotions, shows us how to balance intention, shows us how to balance our heart, all by living in the present moment. This present moment. Yeah, Hova. This present moment. And we spend as much time as we need with Archangel Gabriel to experience the peace of simply being, of existence. And then we go and look at the opposite of temperance, the devil. It was just 1818. L'chaim. The devil card shows two seemingly bound lovers. Bound by what I think are chains. And as the devil, and some call it Baphomet, as this devil is telling the lovers of life what the meaning of life is. And this devil is telling the lovers that they are bound and they cannot free themselves. They have created all these knots for themselves and they shall never be free. Just like everybody else in our life. But there are lessons to be learned. And then we view the tower, the storm. And interestingly, this is the Mayan year of the blue solar storm. Is that what it is? Matakorata anahasku aha. The storm that we've been building life on a shaky foundation, not on firm ground. As we review our life, the three dreams. As we review our life, the devil and the tower are a part of the first dream of us reviewing our past life, this first past life. And then once we face the reality of that life, how we have bound ourselves and how we built our life on shaky ground, we go meet up with the star on day 17. The pure soul who is vulnerable but doesn't care that she's vulnerable, who's innocent, who loves life, who still pours water into 5 rivulets, the 5 senses, who still has 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the water, who still is pouring abundance into this thing called life. Because she knows the big picture. She understands really what this Bhava chakra is all about. This samsara. Same. Sara. Because she understands that Sa is this breath. That Sa is the truth. And Ra is the pleasure, the joy, the bliss. And she's trying to show us that it's all bliss, that it's all joy, that this cycle is really just the cycle of bliss, the Ananda chakra, because we've created all this to live. And then we take this higher wisdom, this big picture, and we bring it into the heart, our heart, with the moon on day 18, L'chaim, for life. And we talk to our heart on what it has experienced. And we share with it the big picture, that everything is love, that everything is bliss. As consciousness unfolds, that it's not dark, it's not shadowy. This path is through the ignorance of bliss, by not judging everything, by not giving meaning to everything, by not placing our story on top of what is, because it is already perfect. And then after our conversation with our heart, it was yesterday, day 19, the sun. We realize that we are this shining sun. this eternal sun that is within, that eternally shines, can never stop shining. And so today, the judgment is we want to do it all again with this new mindset, with this mindset of cultivating love, of sowing the seeds of love, of nurturing love, of reaping the harvest of love. Because it's all love. It's only love. There is one love. hOMe. So let us be love. And experience the bliss of love. So I invite you to relax. Whether you lie down, whether you sit, or whether you sit in seated meditation, it matters not. Comfort and ease are what matters. So I invite you to close your eyes and let us focus our awareness on our breath as we slowly begin to lengthen and deepen our breath. Listening to the sound of our breath as we breathe in. And listening to the sound of our breath as we breathe out. Listening to the sound of our breath as we breathe in. And listening to the sound of our breath as we breathe out. Feeling how it feels as we breathe in. And feeling how it feels as we breathe out. Breathing while we breathe as we breathe in. And breathing while we breathe as we breathe out. Simply breathing while we breathe. And simply breathing while we breathe. And a breath in for hOMe.
Om.
Om. When you are ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the here and now. Maybe invite in some gentle movements. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes and welcome in the new now. Excuse me a moment while I clear my throat. Kotura ushana ihia tatakarana he. Kuruhutura ura tawatar shana asa ehetara. I encourage you to journal. No matter what you write about, no matter how you write about it. It could be what you saw or what came up or what emotions came up when I was talking about the story of you. Maybe it's what came up during meditation and during chanting Om. Maybe it's you just start by writing Om, 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 until words start to flow. And then you just write the words. Automatic writing. Kotor uraharwa atta arsha ehewakaha. Maybe you're writing down what you wish to manifest. Does not matter. This is your life. And this graduation is our realization of this present moment, of this new now, of that we get to create this life with our free will as we prefer. So this is about as much of a sunrise we get today until like an hour later maybe. In the Shine series last year, centered on the summer solstice of 2023. We talked about each of the chakras. We utilized the mala of joy. We chanted Om Mani Padme Hum. And one interpretation is, I am the jewel of the lotus. You are the jewel of the lotus. We are the jewel of the lotus. So if you're game for that series, 108 days, going through each of the chakras, talking about each of the chakras for 12 days. And then in the Being series, centered on the winter solstice, for 144 days, where we briefly talked about the Mala of Ascension, where we add 36 more seeds, and the idea of 3 more chakras, even though they're not chakras. They're 3 ideas, 3 aspects of the Ananda chakra, whether we call them Rita, Vikara, Shrishti, or we call them ease and joy and satisfaction. So in the Mala of Joy, we break up the 108 seeds into 9 groups of 12, and each of the 9 groups represents one of the chakras in our Merkaba. Vasundhara, the Earth Star chakra, Muladhara, the root chakra, Svadhisthana, the solar plexus chakra, Manipura, the solar plexus chakra. Did I say Svadhisthana, the solar plexus? It's the sacral chakra. Manipura, the solar plexus chakra. Anahata, the heart chakra. Vishuddha, the throat chakra. Agnya, or Anya, the third eye chakra. Sahasrara, the crown chakra. And Vyapini, the soul star chakra. And we break up each of the 12 seeds in each of the chakras. In each of the 9 groups, there are 12 seeds. And we break up those 12 seeds into 4 groups of 3. And each of these 4 groups represents one of the aspects of Samavriti Pranayama, box breath, where we breathe in the essence of life. Then we hold our breath at the top with a full set of air in our lungs, which represents our excitement and awe of life. And then we breathe out. We simply breathe out. Which is us just shining out our light, us sharing our light with the world. It's the easiest thing to do and the most natural thing to do. And then we hold our breath with an empty set of lungs, simply being. And it also maps to Om as the in-breath, Mani as the excitement, the polishing of our jewel, Padme, the unfolding of our lotus, the shining in our lotus, and the hOMe, I am. I am that I am. I am that I am becoming. I am this present moment. hOMe. And in the Being series, for 144 days, we utilized the Fibonacci sequence as we spiraled up the Great Pyramid of the Self. To the edge of the matrix, we poked our head through the hub of the Dharma chakra. We utilized the eye of providence to gain a divine perspective on this reality. And on day number 108, we're on day 19 of Manipura. 19 of 21 days. And we were going through the tarot again, the self. Interesting synchronicity there, unplanned. But this sama vritti, pranayama, just like samadhi, we're diving back into this life with a new perspective, going upwards through the chakras, knowing this idea of contrast, knowing that how we think causes alignment or causes discord. How we speak and how we act are reality. Our thoughts, words, and actions create our reality. And now that we see the big picture, that everything's love. So this mindset of love, this heart mind, as we extend again, and every vritti is the same, sama vritti, every cycle is the same, whether it's the cycle of life or the cycle of breath. We have the opportunity to resurrect ourselves out of this cycle of suffering with every new breath. And this is what Patanjali meant in the very first Yoga Sutra. And now, the discipline of yoga begins. The practice of yoga begins. Now, Atta. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. Doesn't matter how we thought or how we felt in the past. Now, what am I going to do? We can choose to see things as contrast, as pain, or we can choose to see it as Oh, I'm not in alignment. Where's the joy in this situation? What's the viewpoint of my heart and my inner being? Because all the contrast is our inner being telling us there's a different way to view this. There's one of joy and love. Atura arahana ahuaha. And as we reach up and create in the new now, as we surf the crest of the new now, creating these ripples of love and joy and bliss easily, joyfully, and satisfactorily, satisfyingly, because life is meant to be fulfilling. And Abraham Hicks says, there's only love for you here in the vortex. And we are in the vortex. If you are watching this video, I am in your vortex, and you are in my vortex. I am sending you love and ease and joy and satisfaction and bliss and Om. And when we Om together, we are sharing this vibration of Om, which is this vibration of the first light, which is this vibration of love, of non-judgment, of total acceptance, of free will, of total respect of free will, allowing you to rest in your true nature, pratyahara. Allowing you to create as you prefer. And if you choose to create with love and ease and joy and bliss, I am there with you. And if you choose to create on the edges of the hurricane, being hit by houses and vehicles and washers and dryers, I'll be in the vortex with your inner being, reminding you that you are love, that you are this first light, that you are Om. And there just may be a more preferred way. So I thank you, my friends, for sharing in my highest bliss. Kotora ana arota urhutara arsata. So shine on from your inner being, with your inner being, as your inner being, and make it a great day. Because why would you leave it up to anyone else? Niorota ahaka ehera hatsana eherta. 118:18. Koreatana asa atutarata. Shoto urra atahanarir tata. This unified life of lives. Kisha anata karata ahasu uta. Shoyo or arhana e. Ita atara arakana e roto. Hurshana atara. So congratulations, my friends. We have completed day number 20 of Flow Home. flowing home to the heart center, to the truth of who we really are, to the truth of love, the truth of ease and joy and satisfaction, the truth of alignment, the truth of you. It's graduation day. Aren't you ready to dive right back in? Tiarana akaharatorototaratata. Isa aara arnahaka eheta utaha